Bro stated it don't matter how gay you claim to be, your wee wee will still get hard. Someone else added, shout it, switch back to their default settings. My rebuttal, look up power bottoms. Not all gays likes to do the pounding. Then I started thinking, what default settings? The old social settings where it was portrayed to be looked frowned upon and have others questioning themselves more, or be closeted once discovered. Which is funny because all this shit genuinely started because I joined this TikTok live and the prompt was crazy how one prompt would turn into all types of shit that I'm about to discuss here. But the prompt was, can your significant other have the opposite gender as a best friend? And I think to myself, the things we're going to tag on is insecurities. What is a best friend while sex slash even rainbow best friends? Attraction levels, maturity, and baggage. There's a lot of things we're going to tap into. What I love about this is a nigga can't get interrupted. Fuck about a nigga scrolling. I can't get interrupted. Insecurities. That shit is based upon what you lack for within yourselves. Because somebody made a valid point. If a person's going to do such and such, because it just comes down to one's character. There was a, like, I get the whole generalized speaking, and I'm not even going to mention the gender war on how I actually am going to mention like a bit of the difference on a spectrum, but from a surface input level, because people like to look at such and such. Your significant other can't be friends with the opposite gender because they have this spectrum of intentions, and not everybody is a fuck nigga. Because when I first joined, my first statement was everybody would judge a book by its cover, but what I acknowledged is a lot of people that have a lot of friends that are the opposite gender that don't sleep with them is because they got to know them. And once you get to know somebody, that says a lot about your character. You don't give a fuck how dirty A is. You either worse than them or on the same fucking fragment frequency as them, my nigga. And what is a best friend without this? And they listed a lot of things. I was like, okay, these are top notch valid reasons. Because it's like, it's without the smacks, but it's the loyalty. It's the, what would this person do? Like, you know how you treat yourself. If you're gonna let somebody treat you the opposite of how you want to be treated, that also speaks a lot about your character. But at the same time, the meat and the potatoes is, what is a best friend without smacks? It's the loyalty at the end of the day. It's the person that's going to accept you and know who you is and still correct you on your wrongdoings, etc. And they started like, okay, at the end of the day, what is it something that you lack that the other person can do for them that you can't? And some people couldn't think of idealistic reason. I'm thinking like, motherfucker, I'm not gonna force or convince anybody to join something that they don't want to do, even if they attempted to even giving a, like, not the idea, they actually took in consideration of giving the thought and action and they saw that they wasn't fucking with it. My point is, it's like Dungeons and Dragons. If I want to get in Dungeons and Dragons and my significant other isn't into that shit, like, I also made another valid point because I'm gonna add on to that. I'm like, a lot of people are friends just because they like the same thing, just common interests and shit. And sometimes your significant other isn't going to be into the same shit that you is. So why even force yourself? Even then, if you take an action of your intentions, if you just want to be with them, then yeah, go ahead, watch the football game with them or some type of other shit. But if it has a deeper meaning, because it was like the only valid point is because it's not plutonic. If it's a, like, there's a lot of things I can discuss, but I'm gonna have to make this quick. just on this topic, part two might come whenever. But a motherfucker, there was like childhood friends are only acceptable, or if they, you know what I'm saying, rainbow. It's like at the same time, because somebody also made a valid point. What if the person's bi? Like, people always think about the opposite sex, but it's like at the same time, if a motherfucker want to get theirs off on whatever equation that got them in that fucking position, they gonna do such and such, and y'all think it's like at the same time, you really don't know until you find the fuck out. Even if you have a feel for it, once it's presented, it's either a new self-awareness discovery, or I knew all the time, it just had to be presented in front of me. But at the same time, even a gay best friend, what I'm just thinking, like, what, in all honesty, what does sexuality have to do with anything? It just comes down to your character and what the fuck that says about you and your maturity and attraction level. You can find a lot of people attractive, but if you have boundaries and standards for yourself, long fucking story short, you're not going to put yourself in a predicament where you're going to want to catch a disease. You find out someone have a disease, you like, ah, oh, fuck it, man, I'm not even going to risk it, etc. You know, even a condom can't even present 100% of what you could catch. And you can catch it in multiple ways, but I'm just saying, once you find out, it's like you still eating a fucking box. You going to use a mouth wrapper to, you know what I'm saying, busting them bullets with your air esophagus pump throat, air bending. It comes down to the maturity. And then the baggage. It's the fucking baggage. Let me get on to you niggas about baggage. Because I'm discussing everything I wrote up in this shit. It don't got to be in orders. Long story fucking short. The person can be mad attracted. A lot of people can have Megan Fox, but are you willing to deal with the baggage? And if you is, you a simp ass nigga with no fucking boundaries to stand for yourself 10 toes tall, to even be like, okay, I'd rather accept the pros regardless of the cons that come with that, stepdad. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying. Ain't nothing fucking wrong with it. It don't matter what she got, such and such. But I'm not saying a lot of people don't have boundaries. But I'm just saying a lot of people, it just comes down to your insecurities. Because not everybody can fill up your fucking jar. You know what I'm saying? My girl best friend is better than you at video games, and you don't give a fuck about video games. I'm not going to convince you otherwise, my nigga. Video games, football game, regardless, we have something commonly in interest. And like, if you get to a point where you self-satisfy yourself enough, it just comes down, like, of course, the curiosity of wanting to do something such as, ooh, a new Pokemon discovery. I wonder what these gushy parts will feel like, or the experience. And it's like, self-discipline, my nigga. Self-motherfucking discipline. Come with the intentions of who you are. If you stop putting on this fake-ass, false-ass persona such as this is you and this is what you represent, and not acknowledge that, yo, this is who I am, whoever don't fuck with that idealistic version of who I'm currently presenting myself as, oh the fuck well. Because there's still some time to fucking grow with your ideology. You can't have, my significant other can't have a best friend because my past PTSD trauma experience, or I seen what the fuck happened online. That's fucking people problem. They not honest with themselves. They lack communicational skills. And it hurts. It hurts when you got to say the honest truth that, my nigga, I lack the social construct boundaries within myself to trust myself. So if I was put in this position, I could see myself doing the exact same fucking thing I wouldn't want my significant other to do. Now, if you let that really fucking sink in, basically, you don't want your partner to do some shit you don't trust yourself with. Have a good one. It's been 10 minutes.